There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me, it never left you still in me. I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. Gates is not the only bill that I've been observing, and not the only bill that I find kind of disturbing. Let's go back to the year 1986 and meet the 99th Congress. What a bunch of dicks. They came up with H.R. 4456, the Child Vaccination Act. And here's a wild, fascinating fact. If your company that you own and they supply the vaccine, somebody died, nobody gets tried in a court of law at all. Problem solved. No retribution, no legal solution. You all scot-free. Watch me. Hop on a plane with Mr. Epstein. Now boarding the Lolita Express. Whoa, look over there, man. Is that Eminem and Stephen Colbert? And look, it's the two Bills, Clinton and Gates. Oh man, and they look like they're hitting on that girl that we met on the plane. The one that was with Ghislaine. I think her name was Courtney. Shit, she's only 14. We need to get the fuck up out of here. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me, it never let you still in me. I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. Now, let's say that you've got a foundation and almost all your donations, they're directed toward the containment of a particular contagion. And one of your experts, he's kind of grouchy, his name is Mr. Fauci. He comes up with an equation. Fear plus persuasion equals the creation of a frightened nation whose panic and lack of education and only wanting just some protection from this agent of infection, they head in your direction and they ask Mr. Bill for their injection.
Wanting just protection from this agent of infection.
Why don't you go get your shine box?
Your direction.
Go get your fucking shine box, Tony.
Injection.
I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me and never left you still in me, I feel your divinity in my vicinity whenever I am depressed or under duress. And I know my abilities you've been giving me. Lyrically, spiritually, I am blessed. I'm blessed. Dear Bill, I wrote you, but I keep getting returned to sender. I've even tried your wife Melinda, but she's putting a block on my calls. There's a rumor she might have a cock and balls. I apologize for the cursing. I guess you two are never in the same room at the same time, so people think you might be the same person. But anyway, fuck it, man. What's been up? How's the vaccine biz? I know you wish that everybody was on board like Maxine is. Oh, guess what? My wife's pregnant again. You remember Myrtle? Yeah, I always seem to wind up with the skanks. And what's up with you having 3 kids? I thought Melinda was infertile and you were shooting blanks. And what's up with all these tanks? I see them being transported on a train. Is that for martial law? This shit's getting insane. You remember when I met you in New Delhi and you were complaining that it was really smelly? Well, I asked you if it was safe getting that polio vaccine and you said I was making a great decision. Yeah, well, my daughter's okay, but my son Micah, he lost his vision. Yeah, it's been some time and a lot of tears now. And Micah, he's been blind for years now. He's gotten pretty good at walking with a cane, though. Anyway, hit me up, yo. I got nothing left to confess. There's nobody here I need to impress. And while the chemicals were killing me, you never let me still in me. I feel your divinity
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday night's evening catch up. How are y'all doing? We have Matt Zoo as the first one in here. SEAL Team 6 was sacrificed. Osama was never killed. The wars raged for 19 years with government media pushing fear. Big poopy going down. That's a whole bunch of conspiracy theories right out of the gate, Matt Zoo. Woo! Okay. We also have Zeus. Well, I'm watching the commercials first. Well, I appreciate you watching the commercials. I myself have an ad blocker, and I have no, I can't say if you have an ad blocker that you're bad because you're not. But thank you very much for watching the commercials, Zeus. I do appreciate that. I might get, something someday. Zeus also says, we all knew shady stuff was going on, cutting military and paying Iran with pallets of Benjamin cotton. Is that ill-gotten gains reference right there? M says, justice will come, ? Exactly. I don't know if justice will ever come. Well, justice will. There is one judge who plays fair, right? Broken Patriot, what's up? How you doing this evening, Broken Patriot? And Riddle saying hello to M and Broken Patriot. All right, we're all caught up. So, yeah, the breaking news and a video that we're going to be watching here pretty shortly is that unmasking probe by the AG bar concludes with no criminal charges. And I don't know if that's the only thing that they're going after. I don't think so, right? Because they also, in the same video, then talk about the other part of it's not going to be ready until after the election or whatever. But I don't know, man. I don't really have that much hope in our criminal justice system. I mean, you got people like Kyle Rittenhouse in jail right now for clearly defending himself from video that was very evident that he defended himself. And somehow he's still in prison. But people who delete 30,000 emails when they're subpoenaed by the FBI get to walk? Why? Would we be able to walk if I was subpoenaed by the FBI and I deleted what they wanted to have after the subpoena had already been placed down? You think I'd get a walk? Ain't no way. And thankfully, if you believe in the next place, justice will come. Justice will come. One way or the other. Okay. So I hope everybody's Tuesday is going well. I know Mr. TB9 contacted us recently and said he's going through a lot of stuff. I'm not going to talk about what he's going through, but thoughts and prayers out to Mr. TB9. I hope you get your stuff situated, and I hope nothing but the best for you. Brian says Zeus. Yep, Zeus is in the house. So everybody keep Mr. TB9. He's go. Man, one of these days, bro. One of these days, justice will come. You know what I mean? Justice will come. All right. Today, for me, has been a very busy day and kind of I'm a procrastinator. Oh, man, do I procrastinate, right? So I get on to doing some editing of videos for my other channel, right? Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pound this out. No problem. And then all of a sudden I get distracted by like, yeah, I kind of rather play a game. And so I'll go play a game. And now I'm like, oh, crap, I want to be up late now because I got to finish what I started. And it's the same thing here on this channel. I've been doing it for years. I don't know how to go against procrastination. It's a really bad habit. I've gotten rid of every single bad habit except for coffee. I got back on caffeine. I was off of caffeine for a while, but man, that sweet bean juice is so dirty and so delicious, right? You know what I'm talking about. And I was trying the decaf. And most of the decaf is crap. There is one decaf that was pretty good. But the thing is, I still knew it was decaf up here because we bought it. Right? Now, if Riddle Girl had bought decaf, if she had bought this decaf, what was it, Black Rifle Coffee? Black Rifle Coffee decaf, and not told me it was decaf, I probably wouldn't have known it was decaf. Right? But boy, that picked me up in the morning. And now I've been drinking iced coffee, which I found as a really cool thing. I mean, you can get it at Starbucks or Dutch Bros or whatever and pay a lot of money, but you can make it at home pretty easily too, and it ain't half bad. But yeah, I'm back on caffeine. Other than that, though, I've gave up cigarettes. Never really was a drinker. What else were we addicted to? Is it just
Sodas.
soda? Yeah, don't drink soda anymore. Drinking the water. I do drink the flavored water, which is not the greatest, but it is still in my transitional period of getting onto straight nothing but water. Because I do like some flavor in it. And some of the ones that are just a hint. What is that one called? The hint water? Is it just hint water?
Yeah.
Where it's, all natural and just a hint of whatever. It's just too little of a hint, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Especially from drinking soda all the time. Like, I didn't drink water. For about a decade or more, I did not drink water. I drank soda. And I got the teeth to prove it. Well, what's up, brother? Okay, you're all talking to each other. I got my license to carry Saturday, heading to work now. It's good here, bro. That's cool, bro. You gotta have a license in your state? That's sad. That's sad, but I'm glad you got it. Hopefully it wasn't a big inconvenience. I know a lot of states that have those issues. You have to jump through massive hoops. And some of them, even though you're supposed to be able to get it, they never give them out, right? The may issue states, it's like Hawaii. Good luck. Nobody carries. You can own a firearm, but you can't take it anywhere, right? Glad you're doing well. We should maybe do some push-ups or something. I've been working out. Today was cardio day. There was a little gnat flying around. Today was cardio day. Monday, we got some bands, and we've been doing some strength training, right? Which is another part of my procrastination because there's not enough hours in the day. Is basically what it is, obviously. And you all know this. But, I'm trying to balance life right now. And balancing life right now with this channel and another channel and working out and all that stuff. There's more on my plate than there has ever been before. And that's both a good thing and a bad thing. Broken Patriot, I don't drink water. Takes 12 cups of water to make a pot of coffee. Or he drinks water. Yeah. And for a long time, I was like, well, one of the first ingredients in soda is water. But coffee's a diuretic, and I'm not supposed to have coffee. Or I can have coffee, right? But they say if you have coffee, since it's a diuretic, you should have as many cups of water, straight water, as you had of coffee to make up for it. And I'm supposed to get, what is it,
64 ounces a day.
64 ounces of water a day. So if I then have, 12 ounces of coffee, I got to add another 12 ounces of water, supposedly. But I ain't doing that because I'm a rebel. Can skip 4473 with a LTC CHL in Texas. 22 for 22. I'm guessing you're in Texas. Other than that, a lot of those numbers didn't make any sense to me. I ain't gonna lie. All right, with all that though, maybe talking can work. I will get on to the web pages and all the news stories that I have for you guys. I don't know. If you guys have anything, also let me know because that's why I love this chat. You guys keep me up to date on some of this stuff. And as I said, I don't have all the time in the world now. I've added a lot of stuff to my plate. So this is one of those things. All right, let's watch this.
So reports coming in tonight that the unmasking probe commissioned by Attorney General William Barr has come to an end and that it has resulted in no criminal charges. Barr had appointed a federal prosecutor to review whether Obama-era officials improperly requested the identities of people whose names were redacted in the intelligence documents, but the prosecutor found no substantive wrongdoing. Correspondent Jillian Turner has this breaking story for us tonight. Jillian, good evening.
Martha, good evening to you, too. This story is still developing as we speak at this moment. The federal prosecutor tapped by Attorney General William Barr to look into this probe has reportedly closed up shop. He is no longer working on the investigation. What he had been looking at was the Obama administration's intelligence community and what is known as the process of unmasking. Now, Attorney John Bash departed the Justice Department last week, and with him goes the prospect of any type of explosive report or criminal prosecution of Obama-era officials. Senior Trump officials, including the president himself, have claimed that the Obama team mismanaged the process of unmasking, also known as requesting the identities of individuals whose names and identities are redacted in intelligence documents. Now, I'm going to read you the list of officials who made these requests. They include Vice President Joe Biden, FBI Director James Comey, Treasury Secretary Jacob Lew, CIA Director John Brennan, DNI James Clapper, Chief of Staff Dennis McDonough, and UN Ambassador Samantha Power. Now, unmasking itself, fairly standard operating procedure. Top national security officials who look at intelligence documents as part of their job are allowed to request that individuals become unmasked if they think that that individual poses a direct threat to national security. Now, also breaking tonight, Martha, there are new developments in a separate DOJ investigation, a probe led by U.S. Attorney John Durham. Fox News has obtained a 94-page document used by the FBI to keep track of information provided by Christopher Steele at the start of the 2016 Russia probe. Among
You
the
guys follow any of
revelations,
this
as we
Russiagate
continue to
stuff?
comb through this document,
I know
the
it's politics
FBI
and all,
believed
but I do
Russians
follow
were
it a
trying to
little bit.
exploit Trump's, quote, personal obsessions by gathering
Need to
compromising material
start
on him.
making
Listen to
videos
the
again.
president.
Documents are
That's
being
what I'm trying
released
to
at
do.
a level now that nobody's ever seen before. Things that nobody thought were going to get released have been released. And you
Martha, I'm
Quick
learning from
snippet.
sources in the intelligence community that this probe from John Durham is not going to wrap up prior to the election
There
on
you go.
November 3rd.
This
as
new
the Trump
probe is not
administration
gonna wrap
hoped.
up before
I'm
the
also
election.
learning it's looking less and less likely he's going to produce any kind of a report coming out of this. We'll keep you updated.
A lot of people will be disappointed to hear that. Thank you very much, Jillian Turner, reporting to.
Disappointed? Yeah, because I'm tired of seeing people in power. I'm tired of seeing people in charge, supposedly of charge, get away with this. It's got, I've been around 45 years, and I'm tired of it. I am just tired of it. It's the same old, and it's getting worse. Used to be that sometimes people would get busted and actually have to pay some sort of consequence. Not anymore. Doesn't seem like it. All right. All right. So Brian says, yes, sir, I should kick it off. Good excuse to start making videos again. Are we talking about exercise videos? Come on, man. Sound like Biden there, man. Come on, man. Sounds good. Need to start making videos again. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Doing the live feed. I'm making videos and I'm doing live streams, and I was making videos here on the YouTube, and I don't know if I want on Poison Stinger on this channel. I don't know. I mean, I kind of like doing the live streams. I really do like doing the live streams with you guys here when it's working. I do get very frustrated when things aren't working because I feel like, I don't want to let you all down. And when something's not working on my end, that frustrates me because I'm like, I got some OGs in the house that are waiting for the stinger. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But I'm trying to balance. And it's hard. I think I need to hire an editor. That's what, if I could afford an editor, it'd be so much easier. Oh my goodness. Editing takes the majority of my day. Like, to shoot a video, 20, 30 minutes, it ain't nothing. I could pound those out. I could make 10, 20 videos a day if I had all day to make videos, right? Do it at that pace. But editing them, it's usually 3 times to 4 times as long, depending on how many words I messed up, right? I'm getting better. The more I do these, chats, the better I think I'm getting. But at the same time, who knows? The Hillary uranium deal, that is some shady stuff. Yeah, it was. What about the Hunter Biden? Pretty shady. Trump announced that Barr has enough to put Obama away forever. It's hard to believe that there are more than 2 Democrats that are not as crooked as the day is long. I would throw Republicans right in there with that. A lot of them. Every single time there's a problem in the government, it always seems that there's a Democrat behind it. Look at some of the things that have happened under the Obama administration and tell me if any of those people you would trust with your family. They are crooked as the day is long. Let's get serious. Either President Trump and his administration are going to indict those who we believe the evidence shows conspired to rig the 2016 election, and then once they're failed, overturn the results of the election. Okay, so they're going to jail, or the Trump family and anyone the witch hunters can manage to entrap will be going to prison for a long, long time upon Trump's departure from DC. And I kind of believe that, right? You've got a lot of Democrats and a lot of Republicans all hating on Trump. And this is why, and I'm not a fan of Trump. Y'all know I'm not a fan of Trump, but this is why I want Trump to win. Because they hate him so much, both Republican and Democrat. That tells me they're worried. Even, I think it was, even Hillary Clinton said that they were all going to burn for this or all going to go down for this if this guy got elected, right? Because they're worried that he might actually uncover some of their stuff and they might have to face some sort of justice. I don't know. I would love, I would be, you know what? I'd be like, dude, I'm okay with you taking my bump stocks. Seriously, you put some of these crooked politicians behind bars for actual crimes that you can prove, I would gladly give up. Well, I already gave them up, but I'd gladly give them up. It'd be worth it. I mean, I still don't agree with the constitutionality of it, but I would gladly give it up. Stinger, Zeus, and I did 22 push-ups for 22 veteran suicide a few years ago. I wasn't in on... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought you were adding me to that group. I haven't done a push-up for years. Active Heroes and Justin's Final Mission fundraiser. That's cool, man. And you haven't been doing videos lately? Man, yeah, I know. I get it. I've been burnt out, right? This channel was originally a Rubik's Cube and a toy review. Well, it wasn't really a review. I had neodymium magnets and Rubik's Cubes, and I did really well with that. And then I decided to do a show about a TV show on the TV. Recap show of a TV show, right? And I did that for a couple years, and that's where most of my channel subs came from originally. I think 8,000 of them, right? So 8,000 of my 12,000 subs came from doing that show. And then I took a 2-year hiatus because I got burnt out on that, and it was a lot of work. It's a lot of work, man. Especially then, I was editing video for probably, well, actually all in total, you know, research, shooting, then editing, then uploading, and then, you know, commenting with the people watching my videos. Probably what, 12, 14. Probably about 14 hours every day. And I was doing that 6 days a week. And I mean, we made a push. We made a big push. And we got a lot of subs. I even got to interview some of the contestants on CBS, which was the channel that the show was on, right? So, I mean, I saw it possibly, you know, but at the same time, the first year that I did it, it was happening during the winter because the writer's strike or whatever. And that was easy because I just did it when Kyla was at school. However, next year, it was during the summer when it usually was. And that was during the summer where my daughter was not at school. And it felt like I was taking time away from her, right? Even though she was kind of part of the show at the time. Anyway, so I get burnt out. And I got burnt out just a while ago. I've been off of YouTube for a few years. Right? Other than doing a few chats, especially with the Kansas Hillbilly Prepper when he passed, right? But we're trying to be more regular, and I do have a lot of videos I could be doing here on YouTube for the Poison Stinger channel. As I said, I have the Karambit that I'd love to do a video on. The Dan Wesson 1911, which is a beautiful pistol. I'd love to do a video on that. I've got video already shot on the Dan Wesson. I just need to finish that one up. And then I also have XS big dot sights that are on my Glock that I put on there that I did most of the review for, but I need to do more of that. However, it's going to look weird now, right? Because I did those videos, the XS big dots and the Dan Wesson, back in March. when I was like 360, 380 pounds. So it's going to look a little strange, right? Because I'm getting closer. Well, I'm about 318, right? So there's going to be quite a bit of difference. Y'all are going to be like, yeah, there it is. Everybody else ain't going to probably notice, right? What's up, Armed Archangel? How are you doing this evening? I was just talking about myself a little bit and my issues. Sorry. All right. Finally, POTUS seems to have gotten back on his horse as far as seeking justice for one, if not the most egregious crimes against the Republic in the history of our country. There's so many crimes against this country, it's not even funny. I mean, can we talk about Building 7? When we talk about the greatest crime against the Republic in the history of this country? And I mean, how about that we're not even a country? Because we're a corporation. And if you don't believe me, there's plenty of evidence on that, right? President Trump indicated that AG Barr has the evidence. It would seem to me that if the evidence did exist, Barr would be swearing out warrants. Of course, he might decide not to interfere in the election, but if Biden is to be indicted after the election, it could make Kamala Harris president. Talk about your Halloween nightmare. Trump said these people should be indicted. This was the greatest political crime in the history of our country, and that includes Obama and it includes Biden. These people that spied on my campaign, and we have everything, and now they say we have much, much more. And I say, Bill, we've got plenty. You don't need any more. We've got so much. Mariah just took a look at the former FBI director, James Comey, report 78 pages of kill done by DOJ Inspector General Mountain Horowitz. I don't know, man. I think Barr's in on it. And I think most people in Washington are in on it. They know what's up. Everybody's got skeletons in the closet. Every one of them. Why isn't anybody going to jail for the whole Epstein pedo island? Because anybody who would rat them out has plenty of things that they could be ratted out about too. You take me down, I'll take you down. I went from solid muscle to dad bod. I'm working my way back though. Dude, I've never had anything but, well, I wouldn't even say it's a dad bod. A dad bod is chunky, 50 pounds overweight maybe at the most. Dude, I've been overweight my entire life. I think when I was 9 is when I started gaining, right at the start of puberty. And I have some reasons, right, why it's because of puberty. But I do believe it's a medical thing. It started off, I'm not saying the whole thing is medical, but it started off medically because when I hit puberty, that didn't go well. And I'll just leave it at that. And I started gaining weight. At my heaviest was in 2001 when 9/11 happened. I was 525 pounds. I have a picture somewhere of me holding Kyla as a baby. And it's something. Right? And now that I'm losing weight, I can see my arms. And it's sad. So yes, I got some workout equipment. I've got a guy who's going to help me out supposedly, but he lives a little bit far away, so it's not every day, but he gave me a program to follow and all that kind of stuff, So I'm starting that. I just started that yesterday, so today is like the second day of that. And we'll see. I'm hoping to build some muscle cuz I don't have very much, and I've got, a lot of extra skin already. So, yeah, I would like to get rid of that as soon as possible. Let's see. Exactly. Mutually assured destruction. The swamp will never be drained. Yep. You used to break toothbrushes. On your teeth? Or somewhere else? What's up, Mike D? How you doing? Yeah. Welcome to the chat. All right. Reveal Trump's Regeneron antibody drug was developed with cells derived from an aborted fetus. Well, not doing that one. I will not partake in anything that has anything to do with that. And that's why I don't take a lot of the newer vaccines. Don't believe me, do your own research. There's plenty of evidence on there. And then there's a whole bunch of, articles like that evidence isn't really true. So, I mean, obviously, the people that are pro choice aren't going to want you to know that that's what's in your vaccinations, right? but I do my research on that. If there's even a hint of it, I'm not doing it. Because that's the last thing I want. And if I've had it, I don't know of it, and I hope I never had it. I hope I've never had it. Regeneron's new antibody cocktail was tested. Okay, it was tested. It doesn't have it in it, but it was tested. Using the HEK293T human cells, the cells ultimately derived from the kidney of an aborted baby in the 1970s. The firm acknowledged this, but said today's cells are not considered fetal tissue. Trump, who has sought to restrict abortion rights, has hailed Regeneron's drug. Trump's antibody treatment was developed with cells which are ultimately derived from an aborted fetus. It has emerged. The Regeneron antibody cocktail administered to the president was testing using a supply. We read that's all in that. According to the MIT Technology Review Labs, including Regeneron used the 293T cells to manufacture small particles which mimic the C virus. The company did not deny the link to the abortion, but said the modified cells available today are not considered fetal tissue. It's how do you want to phrase it, said the spokeswoman Andrea Bowie, adding that we did not otherwise use fetal tissue. Why? Because the aborted fetus was from the 1970s, I guess? Is that what I'm reading here?
They cloned the cells.
They cloned the cells of an aborted fetus?
Correct.
Have I not gotten to that, or did I just skip it?
It's you have to click on the whole MIT Technology Review and read all that boring crap.
Oh, yeah, I'm not reading all that. But thank you, Riddle Girl. I appreciate the extra insight. I love it. It's all about how you want to phrase it. Oh, is that not spin and fake news? Yeah, facts. We can make those say whatever we need. Trump, who has sought to restrict abortion rights throughout his presidency, has hailed the success of Regeneron and promised to make it free to the public after his apparent recovery from the C19. Wow. HEK293 is human cell lineage, which ultimately derives from the kidney of the fetus, who was aborted in the Netherlands around 1973. Wow, that would be an older person than me right now. So 47-year-old, never got to live his life or her life. One subgroup of the 293T cells, which are widely used in biological research. The use of the cells to test the C19 vaccine has previously led to objections from Catholic groups and pro-life medical workers, although the vaccination has indicated in the past that it is permissible, or the Vatican, yes. Yeah, if you're holding out on what the Pope thinks about stuff, you're not doing well. The Pope, okay, first of all, in my religion, everybody thinks they know who the Antichrist is. In the religion that I grew up in, the Pope would be considered the Antichrist. The Antichrist is somebody who is claiming they are Christ here on earth. If you look up the Catholic diocese, or whatever that's called, I apologize, the Pope is considered himself to be Christ's replacement here on earth since Christ left, ascended to heaven. Therefore, he just admitted that he's the Antichrist. That's just in our religion, right? Everybody else can have their own opinion. Believe me on that, right? I love push-ups. I'm back. Ooh. As I said, I haven't done a push. I can do wall push-ups. Yeah. In 2017, the Vatican's Pontifical Academy for Life said in reference to other vaccines that currently use cell lines are very distant from the original abortions. It's still derived from that, one way or the other. We believe that all clinically recommended vaccines can be used with a clear conscience, and that the use of such vaccines does not signify some sort of cooperation with voluntary abortion. Regeneron says that cells were used to make pseudoparticles, small structures which resemble the C19 virus. Yeah, we talked about this the other day, where it kind of tricks your DNA. It alters your DNA to thinking that you have it so that you make the antibodies for it. These dummy viruses are then used to test whether the antibody cocktail would be effective at combating the C19. Trump has embraced the anti-abortion rhetoric as a Republican candidate and as a president, although before entering politics, he expressed a pro-choice view. Yep, I do agree with that as well. Another thing, Trump was a Democrat way before he was ever a Republican, kind of thing. You know what I mean? In January, Trump became the first sitting president to speak at the March for Life anti-abortion rally, claiming that unborn children have never had a stronger defender in the White House. Okay? Abortion right groups fear that Trump's Supreme Court picks, including the pending nomination of Amy Coney Barrett, will lead to an abortion rights being weakened or eliminated. Yeah. So that's enough of that story. Prophet said this is the last pope and the president. This was a few years ago. Yeah, I think I remember hearing something about that too.
I went down that rabbit hole, if you remember. I was
Yeah.
reading all that stuff.
Yeah. We shall see for sure. And the Pope, the Pope, it's just my opinion. If you're Catholic, please don't take offense. To me, the Pope seems to go whichever way it'll bring more people into the church, I would say keep more people in the church. I don't know, and I could be wrong. I live in a very closed bubble, right? But I don't know anybody who's converting over to being a Catholic, unless it's like the first church, right? But if you're one religion, you don't go from that religion to the Catholic religion, right? You don't go from Jehovah's Witnesses to Catholicism. You know what I mean? There's a big divide there. And there are a lot of other churches that people go to from other churches. For one, what was the one guy that was at our church that was a pastor who changed over? Do you remember?
It was Pentecostal.
Yeah, he was Pentecostal. And he changed over. And I mean, obviously I know about the ones that went to our church because that's the church that I went to for a very long time. But I would be surprised if anybody goes over there. So really what it is they just, you're born into it. You stay a Catholic. Why? Because that's what you were born as. And it's tradition. And you don't go to church except for on, Christmas Mass and maybe Easter Sunday, stuff like that. The important holidays. Right? And you consider yourself a Christian because you do believe. And as far as you know, all you have to do is believe because it says in the Bible and your priest told you that, all you have to do is believe and you're good. You don't have to, have a walk with Jesus or anything like that. Boy, this got on religion a little bit, didn't it? You guys hear that before? I don't know what religion or group said it. Oh, of the last pope. Yeah.
The Catholics have their own prophecy, so that's straight out of their own prophecy. The last.
Oh, is it?
Thing. Yeah.
I grew up a Democrat. F that poop. My mother was. I think my family wasn't really hardcore Republican. We always voted both sides back in the day. And yeah, in fact, my first time I ever voted was for Bill Clinton. There went a lot of my cred right there. If you guys didn't know that, right? I'm sure there's a few people here that didn't know that. But in 1992, I believe that was my first year I got to vote. And I remember really wanting Ross Perot to win. Right, that was the year Ross Perot ran, and I really enjoyed what he was running on. He was a businessman as well, right? And so, I thought he was really great. And I think my family even did some stuff for his campaign in our area or whatever, stuff like that, right? But then he decided to drop out of nowhere. Now, I don't remember why, because I wasn't that into politics at the time, and I sure as heck wasn't doing any live chats, right? But he dropped out, and I was like, well, that sucks. There goes the guy that I was expecting, that I wanted to support. And then he jumps in again right at the end. I'm like, I'm not gonna fall for you again. And what he did is, and I voted for Clinton for sure, and obviously I regret that. But I don't know. It was because of Ross Perot jumping into the race, though, that Bush lost. Now, was Bush a great president? No, he was not. But would have we gotten the 94 crime bill? Maybe not. No president's great. Tell me one president that you agreed with 100%. And I could tell you maybe two that were back in the 1700s that I haven't even, I wasn't even close to being around back then. Mike D, my friend smells like stale socialism. I think they were hanging out with a liberal. Ooh. Socialism is a dirty smell, is it not? Bible says, don't worship man. Saints against Bible, they are not Christians, but a corporation. Ooh, Matt the Zoo. I like that. Yes. Yes, I agree with that. And any prophet that claims they're a prophet is not a prophet, right? That's another one. Okay, Gerald B made it. Congratulations. Thank you for making it, Gerald B. I was missing you. I was wondering where you were. We started early and everything. Well, we didn't start any earlier than normal for this week. I was 17 in 1992. Right on. So we're almost the same age because I was, well, how old was I in 1992? Am I lying? No, I'm not lying. Am I? You have to be 18 to vote, right? Yeah. I was 15 in 1990. 1991, 1992, 17. Maybe it wasn't the first time I voted. Huh. Because my birthday's in March, right? So 1992, I would have been 17 in November. I wouldn't have been 18 until March. I could have been wrong. That could be that could be fake news, everybody. Oh my goodness. My whole world is blown up right now. I had to reboot my DSL box. Wow, I'm sorry. Matt Zhu, the product of a vote Democrat to keep food stamps, its plantation, many races on it. They said vote Hillary or lose food stamps. They got more under Trump's people vote selfishly. Yeah, I know. That's been the Democratic playbook for a long time, right? You vote for Republican, they're going to get rid of your health care. They're going to kick Granny off of a cliff. They're going to take away all your food stamps, all the stuff, and that it's a great strategy. It's a great strategy. How do you trap a wild pig? Put some food down in the forest, then put in one part of a fence. Put some more food down in the forest. Put another part of the fence. Keep doing that until you completely got a fence all the way around, and then just wait for the thing to walk itself in and close the door. You can tell a prophet is real by if their prophecies come to fruition or not, is what the Bible says. Well, first of all, okay, we're a little bit on the religious side, which is fine. I'm a religious person. Hopefully, if you're not, I apologize for being on religion for a little bit. We're gonna just touch on it a little bit more. So according to us, a prophet will not say they're a prophet, and two, it has to line up with what the Bible says. It has nothing to do with predicting the future as much as it. Well, I mean, it does. Don't get me wrong, but it's more about going along with what the Bible teaches. So if it goes against the Bible, then it's not a prophet, right? If, what do I want to say? There's plenty of prophets out there who have had really shady past. Look at the Mormon Church and their prophet, right? And I know some Mormons, so I know this is where that's coming from. So correct me if I'm wrong if you're Mormon, right? But the Mormon Church believes their prophet takes precedence over the Bible, which is against the Bible, right? And I think it was Jebediah Smith, isn't it not Jebediah Smith? I don't know. I could be wrong. No? John Smith?
Yeah, it's like John Smith or Joseph Smith.
Okay. Yeah. And I believe that guy was a pedo. All right. So not only will you know them by their what they say, and but you also know them by what they do. If they've got a shady past, maybe not. I mean, okay. If they have a shady past, it's one thing. But if they have a shady at the moment, they're also saying that they're a prophet. Right? Because, I mean, even Peter would be considered a prophet, and he had a shady past. Right? Okay, that's enough of that, though. So if a prophet says you can have 3 wives, that goes against the New Testament? No. I don't know where in the New Testament does it say that you can't have more than 1 wife. I'd like to know that. That would be a great thing. I'm not saying I'm going to have more than 1 wife, and I'm not saying I'm a polygamist, but at the same time, there is nothing in the Bible saying you can't have more than 1 wife. Shoot, Abraham had many sons. Many sons had Father Abraham because he had many wives as well. You know what I mean? So there's that. It is not biblical that you only get 1 wife. It's not biblical you only have 1 husband, I don't think. I don't know. In parks, said do not feed wild animals. They become dependent on human and no longer have the ability to hunt food on their own. Yeah. So, okay, I read that. And I'm a regular old evangelical. hard word. Christian. All right. By their fruit you shall know them. I like Mike D. Matt Zoo, the Mormon prophet, said, have many kids as possible. 10 years later, civil war. Can't imagine where America would be without Mormon reproducing. I don't know. I just have a problem with, I don't have a problem with having wives. I don't have a problem with having multiple wives. I do have a problem with underage kids. And before we go on to that topic too much, okay, we're going to go on that topic. I think, and we discussed this the other night. I think it was last night, that I think anybody that's 16 or under, if you're over 18, you rape somebody 16 or younger, you should go to jail for the rest of your life, bare minimum. Right? We talked about this. However, let's not forget Mary, who got knocked up by the Holy Spirit and was also married or betrothed to Joseph. I think she was betrothed, right? She was betrothed to be married to Joseph. You guys do know she was 12, right? So, I mean, there's nothing in the Bible that says that's not okay. And that's where the whole term, if it bleeds, it breeds, comes from. Because I believe that is the biblical. I do not like it. I do not approve of it. I am not endorsing it. Right? But at the same, I don't know. I struggle, as you can tell. I don't have all the answers. I do have issues with some of this stuff. But I believe he was also other things as well. That's all I can say. And I have a problem with you saying that you should believe in the prophet more than the Bible. For me, the Bible is the one and only. That's the first and foremost. Anything else, it needs to coincide with it. Okay. Hard enough with just one wife. Why disappoint any others? Yeah, I know, right? One wife, two girlfriends. There you go. There you go. New Testament, Jesus said one husband and one wife. I'll show you where. Oh, all right. Hold on. Let me go back. I missed that chat, so I might have missed more. Marvin. Okay, no, I didn't miss any more. New Testament, Jesus said one husband and one wife. I'll show. Send me the text, man. Send me the text or put it in chat. I would like to see. I'm not gonna read it tonight. Well, I'm not gonna read it right now. It's hard enough with just one wife. Right. Broken Patriot did a link with Wikipedia again. The best source for all any fake news. Brian says Mormons were the ones to have been exiled as a group from the United States at the time. Yeah, because of the whole polygamy thing. She was 13. 12, 13. About that. Many people argue 1 Corinthians 7 argues at the point of one husband and one wife, but in context it really talks about the necessity of marriage and how an unbelieving spouse is sanctified by the other. Really?
Yes.
So, really, that's interesting.
Saying that if your spouse doesn't believe in God,
yeah, I know,
and you do, you get to save them.
Right, and we know a few people that were like that they kept trying, but they still didn't come to church or whatever. And here's the thing. Marriage is not something you have to go do in front of a courthouse. Marriage, if you sleep with someone, that's biblically married. Right? That's my opinion. What about the Quran? Well, Father Abraham had many sons. One of them was is what we have as the Christians, and one was the Muslims, kind of thing. Forget her name. Whatever. What about the Quran? I don't know, man. I have never read the Quran. All I have is information that I've heard about the Quran. What I've heard is not good, but I'm not going to comment on it right now because I haven't personally read it. Do I plan on reading it? Not really. All I know is doing good. God's work is fun. It is. Can be very rewarding, right? It was common in Roman times for men to marry young women. Childbirth often ended in death. Having kids was important to pass on property. That's a good reason to get in as many kids as you can while you're of the fertile age, right? And we have moved past that time, and maybe that's why I'm okay with Mary being 12 or 13 back then, and now us saying 18. Well, I guess we're moving it back down to 16 in most states, or younger even, I've heard. I'm at the dog park. Got 1% on phone. Jesse also said, leave everything and follow me. LOL. I will. Or Jesus. I'm sorry. Autocorrect, right? I will have a check shoe out tonight. Okay. All right. Thanks, Matt Zoo. Check. Send me when you watch this later on. Send me that text on the one. Well, I guess Real Girl found it. So there you go.
If he was talking about anything other than 1 Corinthians, please still send it.
Yeah. Defiant as ever about the Rona, President Trump on Monday turned his first campaign rally since contracting the C-19 into a full-throttle defense of his handling of the pandemic, joking that he was healthy enough to plunge into the crowd and give voters a big fat kiss. The president's going to do a stage dive. There was no social distancing, and mask wearing was spotty among the thousands who came to see Trump's return to Florida. Under my leadership, we're delivering a safe vaccine that has baby parts in it. That's my added fake news part. And a rapid recovery like no one can even believe, Trump insisted. If you look at our upward path, no country in the world has recovered the way we've recovered. Boisterous and bellicose, Trump thanked the audience for their well wishes and declared he was no longer contagious as he embarked on a frantic final stretch of the campaign. He insisted that after being given experimental medication, which we just read about, and other VIP treatment, he felt great and was glad he no longer needs to be concerned about the infection because he's now immune. I feel so powerful, said Trump, displaying no obvious signs of the lingering infection. I walk into that audience, I walk in there, I kiss everyone in that audience. I kiss the guy and the beautiful women, everybody. I just give y'all big fat kisses. Oh man, don't be Bidening up the rallies, bro. That's the last thing we need now. Despite Trump's battle with the deadly disease, it is striking how little has changed. Threats to smooch audience members aside, the rally felt like so many others during the pitch general election battle against Democrat Joe Biden. Trump returned to his many usual attack lines, slamming Democrats as engaged and unhinged and out for vengeance, and hyping tremendous progress on virus therapeutics. He promised the third quarter economy would be a record-setting and claimed that if he wins the November, normal life will resume, while Biden would delay the vaccine and destroy the economy with a draconian lockdown. Obviously, a lot of blowstering? Is that the word I'm looking for? Blowstering? I don't know.
Bolstering.
There you go. Bolstering. Okay. Just curious to the viewers, do you think that cells cloned from aborted fetus are still human fetuses, or is it something else? I don't. Here's my view. The cloned cells of the aborted fetus is not the aborted fetus. But the aborted fetus helped make those cloned cells. So you still got that, but by ill-gotten gains. You know what I mean? If you break the law, okay, no wait. If you buy something from somebody who stole something, and you know they stole that, but you still buy it from them, which makes you a fence, right? If you're a fence, guess what? You're still in trouble because you knowingly took something that didn't belong to the person who sold it to you. So yes, I don't think it's technically human because it's cloned. Whatever. I don't really like that either for whole other reasons. But at the same time, you wouldn't have gotten that without it in the first place. Does God talk to clones? I don't even think there are any human clones right now. I don't see that we're going to be making any human clones in my lifetime. I could be wrong. If it is what out came from, or maybe a zombie. Okay. It was alive. If, the word aborted fetus is anywhere near the description of it, it's an aborted fetus. I'm not sure. Okay, well, that's cool. That's a great thing to have a discussion on, technicalities, right? Because a lot of people are going to bring these kind of things up. Biden finally addressed court packing. Kinda. He's not a fan. Joe Biden said he's not a fan of adding seats to the Supreme Court. Doesn't mean he won't do it. He just, I'm not going to like having to do it. It's good for the country. You remember when your dad, well, I don't know how many of you got spanked, but back in the day when I'd get spanked, this hurts me more than it hurts you. Dad, you should have ran for a politician, because that's basically what Joe Biden is saying right now. Right? He's not a fan of it, but he's going to have to do it most likely. After weeks of avoiding questions about the idea that's been pushed by progressives and used by Republicans to attack him. I've already spoken on, I'm not a fan of court packing, but I don't want to get off on that whole issue. I want to keep focused. Focused on what? The Democratic presidential nominee said in an interview on Monday, Biden argued that the focus should remain on the President Trump and Republicans' effort to push through Amy Coney Barrett as a replacement for Ruth Bader Ginsburg before the election, which is totally constitutional and fine. That's the court packing the public should be focused on. Really? It is constitutional for a president to put in a Supreme Court judge during his term. All right? Even Obama technically was constitutionally allowed to put in his that they didn't allow through, because they got away from the Constitution and they moved more towards tradition, right? The Congress or the Senate doesn't need to confirm nobody. That's tradition, right? The president appoints, and that's it. The Congress is only supposed to advise the president on the nomination. Have no say in it whatsoever. Biden expressed opposition to the idea of expanding the Supreme Court before, but in recent weeks notably dodged multiple questions from the media about proposal, insisting that he would answer the question after the election. How convenient. Pressure on Biden to respond intensified after his running mate, California Senator Kamala Harris, refused to answer the question during her debate with the VP last week. Harris, however, expressed support for court packing during her primary bid for president, along with a number of other progressive candidates. Faced with the prospect of decades-long ideological balance court following Ginsburg's death, the idea of adding seats to a 9-person court has gained renewed traction among Democrats. Here's the really thing that pissed me off about the VP debate. You remember the part where Kamala Harris was saying, as a Christian, or all yada, yada, yada? Oh my goodness. I could not believe it. As a person of faith, I think she said, right? Wow. There's a special place. There's a special place. I think of it like if you made a photocopy of a photocopy, the quality degrades. At the very least, it's going to be a poorer quality of a copy. I'm not a fan of Pepsi. You're not a fan of Pepsi? What are you, Coca-Cola?
No, if you research Cinemix, which is what I just put down there with my comment, then you can find out more about it.
Oh, the ingredients in Pepsi might be sus? Yeah. Another reason why I'm glad I'm not drinking soda. I can't say one way or another on that. I haven't done my research. But at the same time, you shouldn't be drinking soda anyway. And I shouldn't have either. She's a hottie, Amy is. Yeah. She's not bad on the eyes. From what I've seen of her, I like her. I haven't seen anything really negative. I got a crush on Amy and Molly Ringwald. Really? Molly Ringwald? That's one of your 5? Is that one of your 5, Mike? If you're curious about what M is talking about, research... Yeah, I can't even say that word. All right, Barrett rebuffs Dems' efforts to lay political traps in the SCOTUS hearing. So, yeah, she's still being confirmed, or the confirmation hearings. I haven't watched it. I don't plan on watching it. It's like watching paint dry, and it's just infuriating. It's like watching not just paint dry, but like the ugliest color ever known to man, like the puke baby yellow. You know, that kind of paint. The kind of paint you just want to slap the person who thought about putting that up on a wall. Yeah, that kind of paint. Amy Barrett brushed off coordinated efforts of Democratic members on the committee to turn her confirmation into a political wedge on Tuesday, the second day of her congressional hearing. Democrats peppered Barrett with overtly partisan questions, ignoring the policy established by former Senator Joe Biden during the confirmation of Ginsburg, whom Barrett was named last month to replace. They demanded that she clearly state her positions on hot-button issues like abortion, gun rights, and election disputes. But the 48-year-old appellate court judge determined demurred, pointing to the response of prior justices such as Obama-nominated Elijah Kagan in declining to give a thumbs up or thumbs down grade to pass court precedent. Ooh, that's very smart. That's very, very smart, right? All your answers, just say, you know what, I'm going to handle it like this past person that you guys liked back in the day. Barrett said that that place declaring her stance in a hypothetical future case would be in a violation of ethics since she is still a sitting judge on the 7th Circuit. Regardless of whether she is confirmed to the Supreme Court, judges can't just wake up one day and say, I have an agenda. I like guns. I hate guns. I like abortion. I hate abortion. And live and walk in like a royal queen and impose their will on the world, Barrett told the committee. I'm liking her more and more. It's not the law of Amy, she said later. It's the law of the American people. Wow. Wading into the abortion row, Barrett, a devout Catholic, but also a avowed textualist and originalist in her judicial, and I'm a big fan of originalist, in her judicial philosophy said that unequivocally broadcasting her deposition on a controversial issue risked not only limiting her to her own impartial reasoning ability, but also encouraged more lawsuits to force a favorable ruling on the matter. Wow. So that's all I'm going to cover on that. But I'm a fan of that lady for sure. If P.S. check out the quotes by Camilla about Christians. Yes, that's part of the reason, right? I heard the quotes on Real World Preppers video. Okay. And then linked it. So that's Am. Okay. I will copy that and I will watch that later. But I have heard her views on Christians. And obviously, any Democrat who is, you can tell them by their works, right? Or you can tell them by their fruits, right? And it's obvious. It is absolutely obvious who is a Christian and who is not. I'm sorry, but if you're pro-abortion, we can have the discussion about if it's going to kill the mother. We can have the discussion if it's because of rape and incest, right? We can have that discussion. But if you're okay with abortion for any reason at any time, that's murder. That's against God. Don't tell me you're a Christian, because I will know you by your fruits. And that fruit, my good person, is rotten as hell. All right, copy link location. Good. D-Live, Jupiter 5. What's up, D-Live, Jupiter 5? How are you doing? By accepting the clone cells, you're promoting the practice of using aborted children's body parts, thus causing the death of future children. Thank you. Very good comment. Appreciate it. That's kind of what I said earlier, but I totally 100% agree with that. That is perfect. Hot and sensible. She's good. She's hot and she's sensible. All right, cool. She ain't bad, and she's, Obama's Iran money linked to Hillary Clinton's covert weapon cells in Benghazi. Haven't read this yet. We'll read it together a little bit. I don't really, this is old news. At the same time, it's still relevant because are these people ever going to get in trouble? Love that comment at Jupiter 5. Yep. Bri, did you see the video where she showed her notepad, sat through the entire session asking questions with 0 notes? Who, Amy Barrett? A purported military insider turned whistleblower revealed that he had given evidence to a U.S. congressman linking the Obama administration's mass payoffs in the Iran nuclear deal to a series of scandalous Middle East cover-ups. Nick No said he and other Benghazi insiders had gathered a cache of evidence that included audio recordings and documents of high-ranking officials to support their allegations. Something everybody wants to have is the evidence, he said in a YouTube interview following his presentation Sunday at the American Priority Annual AmpFest conference. Guess what? We have it, he continued. We have irrefutable evidence, and you're gonna find out some pretty shocking things. No, who was stationed at Germany's Ramstein, love the band, air base on September 11, 2011, the fateful day of the terrorist attack, said his role was to collect dispatches from combat units and condensate them into situational reports. I was at work and I ended up leaving thinking everything's going to be okay, he said, recalling the night of the attack. At that point, I saw drones overhead. You could see them circling. I thought they were coordinating, he said, but he was shocked to find out the day afterward that nothing had happened. Although a rescue unit from Debochi was ready to respond, NO's commanding officer indicated that they had been told to stand down. Upon leaving the military, No began to connect with other witnesses and whistleblowers in the effort to get his story out. Have you guys seen, I think it's 13, what's the movie? What's the movie they did on that? 13 Hours? Is that the movie? That was a great movie and an upsetting movie, but a great movie. I think it was called 13 Hours. After reaching out unsuccessfully to the first to a Republican congressman on the Benghazi committee and then to an FBI, No said the scope of the corruption and possible cover-up effort finally hit home. There you go. You think Republicans are fine? You think they're without any blood on their hands? They're just as corrupt. They're just as corrupt. Just in a different way. Right? It doesn't matter. Most of the time, it does not matter if you vote Republican or Democrat because it's two wings of the same bird. They're both going to screw you over. I got a bumper sticker on the back of my car that illustrates that very well. Right? But it does not matter most of the time. Trump came in and changed that. And that's why these people who really doesn't matter if you vote for them or the other guy, that's why they're so against Trump. I'm not a fan of him. I've said it millions of times. But there's something going on that they're scared about that he might uncover. And it's freaking them out. It has ever since the election when Hillary Clinton said we're all going to burn for this. After reaching out unsuccessfully, it turns out there was a lot more going on than we really understood, he said. He was able to connect with Charles Woods, the father of slain CIA officer Ty Woods, who was killed by a mortar while trying to protect the CIA facility in Benghazi. The two also met Alan Harrow Parrott, a CIA whistleblower who had amassed a treasure trove of evidentiary documents from his decades stationed in the Middle East. Among the claims that the men are making, the Iran payoff as part of a controversial nuclear deal was intended as hush money over the shutdown or the shooting down of SEAL Team 6. Ooh. The Iran payoff as part of a controversial nuclear deal was intended as hush money over the shooting down of SEAL Team 6, the covert special forces that killed Osama bin Laden. The Stinger missile, which is an awesome missile, by the way, that shot down SEAL Team 6, that one wasn't very awesome, came from a weapons sale scheme overseen by then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton from a CIA cache in Qatar. Wow. Bin Laden had spent most of his post-9/11 lifetime hiding out in Iran with 3 different CIA directors allowing him safe refuge. How many times in those 11 years did we all think, how can you not find this guy? It can't be that hard. With all the different tracking stuff you've got, with all the different rats and informants that you have, you can't find a guy in, 10 years? Or however long it was, right? Prior to bin Laden's May 2011 death, Iran was prepared to simply hand him over. However, Clinton and then Vice President Joe Biden proposed the idea to stage a trophy kill in Pakistan for election year optical purposes. So it was 2008. And at that point, it was Mitt Romney who was running against them, and it wouldn't have mattered who won. Mitt Romney would have screwed you over just as fast as Obama did. Everybody that is involved with this, they're going to hang for it, No said. It's pretty plain to see it's treason, and so I'm going to look forward to seeing justice served for that crime. Oh, I would love to see it too, but I don't think it'll happen. Headline: USA did not independently verify any of these allegations. No said in the video that he was given the documents and audio to several media outlets, And he also confirmed that he had given material to a current congressman, although he did not identify the person. Hopefully it's a good one. There's not very many of them in there. Matt Gaetz, Republican of Florida, was the headliner of the AMP Fest where Noah and Woods recently spoke. Some recent evidence has suggested that there might also be a link between Iran and Russia hoax concocted by the Clinton campaign in 2016 with support from Obama's intelligence community to smear and undermine the GOP opponent Donald Trump. According to recently declassified documents, the Steele dossier, the debunked series of reports commissioned by the Clinton and elevated by the top CIA and FBI officials, yada, yada, yada. Russian relations and had himself been investigated. Okay, there you go. There's that story. Wow. I hope that goes somewhere. What's up, Irish? Yeah. Hello to everybody on D-Live, man. I appreciate all my D-Live viewers. You guys rock. I'd like to be on the fly on the wall when she got home to talk with hubby about crazy questions. Yeah. I know, right? Man, I wonder if he's as smart as her or if she's the smart one, because she seems pretty darn smart, man. I don't know. I like her. Irish is in the house. Irish got him a brand new toy that he's going to have, hopefully, in his intros to his video. That was hilarious. I won't spoil it for you, but yeah, that's funny. Just having to talk some political nut jobs would make me puke. Oh, having to talk to him? Yeah. He screwed up the Agenda 21 plan? Maybe. Maybe that's why they're trying to get him out so fast. To re-get it. I don't know. Is there like a deadline? Why do they have to do it by 21? If you don't know about Agenda 21, I definitely suggest you go look down that rabbit hole. You'll be down it for a while, though. We're not going to cover it here. But that's the whole getting us into a new world order kind of thing by 2021. And you can kind of see it when they're trying to tear down statues and tear down anything that made America good in the first place. And speaking of people who claim themselves to be people of faith, Republicans would reject Christ himself if he came to Congress, says Sandy Cortez. Claimed in a bizarre Twitter rant on Monday that Republicans do not actually care about religion and would not accept Christ himself if he came to the floor of Congress and repeated his teachings. Well, you should really look into Christ's teachings, because I'm sure being pro-abortion, at the very least, is against that. The Democratic Socialists made the comments during Judge Amy Barrett's first day of confirmation hearings after Republicans attacked Senate Democrats for trying to hold Barrett's Catholic faith against her. Quoting, it's funny, they're trying to hold her Catholic faith against her, but what about Joe Biden? He's supposedly Catholic too. Quoting a speech she made on the House floor during a House oversight hearing on religious freedom earlier this year, Cortez said, "Sick and tired of Republicans who co-opt faith as an excuse to advance bigotry and barbarism." Oh, I like it that she used the word barbarism. You know, like the slaying of innocents. And bigotry? Let's talk about who's racist about... Well, I'm not going to talk about who's all racist against what other colors, but, you know, we can definitely talk about... I always forget the name of it. The act that where it makes you have a certain number of ethnic people on boards.
Affirmative action?
Affirmative action. Racist is all hell. Racist is all hell. Back in February, Cortez made a similar claim, sometimes especially this body. I feel as though if Christ himself walked through these doors and said what he said thousands of years ago, that we should love our neighbor and our enemy, that we should welcome the stranger, fight for the least of us, she said during the hearing, he would be maligned as a radical and rejected from these doors. You're picking and choosing on that. She's definitely picking and choosing on that. Right? And I think, yeah, there'd be a lot on both sides. A lot on both sides. But I'll tell you one thing. You think Jesus would have shut down the churches during the Rona pandemic? That's what I asked my pastor. Right? That's what I will ask my pastor, I mean. When I go back to the SDA church, and I plan on going back because I want to ask that question. What do you think Jesus would have done if the government had said that you can't meet anymore in public. You can't fellowship in public anymore. What do you think Jesus would have done? Because the Seventh-day Adventists, anyway, preached a lot about Daniel and the law of the land where you weren't supposed to pray in public. And Daniel prayed in public, and then he got thrown into the lion's den. Right? Why is it that we shut down all the churches during this? Because really, you can say, well, it's because of the health and we don't want our elderly people to die. But let me then ask you, what life would Jesus be concerned about you losing? This life or the next? And then tell me again why you think we should have shut down our church. Would Jesus have done that? I don't think he would have. I'm pretty sure of it. And as far as treating everybody as equal, Jesus was about that. Let's see. What should we welcome the stranger? You should welcome the stranger. Fight for the least of us. You should fight for everyone, for sure. I don't care if you're an atheist or what you are. I will judge you by your content of your character. That's just my own personal beliefs, all right? I try to be nice to everybody, but if they're not nice back, then I either ignore them or I move on. And if I can't, then, things, whatever, I have to deal with it, right? But most of the time, you can just, okay, not going to deal with that person. You know what I mean? But yeah, you should be nice to everybody, no matter if they are a Biden supporter or not. Right? She said that's why we allow differing of opinions in here, as long as it's respectful to my moderators. If somebody comes in and has a difference of opinion and is a pro-Biden thing, that's fine. We can have that discussion, and I've had that discussion before. But if they then become belligerent, that's when the conversation, that's when that ends. And then, what about my First Amendment? Okay, this is my channel. Okay, you're more than welcome to start up your own. Anyway, that's a whole other.
Scroll up because it's been chatting good.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, right about here, Agenda 21, roundabouts, Jupiter 5. Agenda 21 has just been delayed temporarily, as is our slavery. I have news for you. We're already slaves. You might not think about it that way, but you kind of already are. They know a lot of things about you. Broken Patriot, sure, hit that like button. Hey, thank you, Broken Patriot. I always appreciate a like or thumbs up or whatever the heck it is on DLive. I don't know. I have a dumb question. What's a roundabout? You don't know what a roundabout is? Somebody better answer that. We've been slaves for a while, says Riddle Girl. Agenda 21 is slow and steady depopulation. That's part of it. It's a messed up It's a messed up. Oh man, I hate a roundabout. Picture of a roundabout. Oh, everybody helped her out. The mask is just going to get you used to submit, so the vaccine comes with the RFID chip. Yep. Well, I don't know. Maybe. But it is. I think the mask is a symbol of submission. D-Live, Jupiter 5. Jesus would have shut down all the fake churches, meaning about all. Okay.
The dog is whining.
All right. Dog needs to go out. Okay. Thank you, Riddle Girl. Broken Patriot. Churches shut down, but liquor stores open. Yep, strip clubs are open. Casinos. Casinos are open at full capacity in Nevada, but churches, at the last time I heard, this is old news. The last time I heard, casinos are open at full capacity, but churches could only have half its membership. Or 50, no, it was 50 people, right? Crappy. Totally agree, Jupiter 5. Yep, the medical pot store stayed open. Yep. I bet they did. You can be pro-Biden and pro-Trump. Can you be pro? Is that a question or a statement? I don't think you can, but I won't judge. And Mike D, that question is making my head spin, right? There's never a good candidate. There's never a perfect candidate. As I said, there's like 2 presidents in all of history that I agreed with somewhat. Okay. Let's get on to Kyle Rittenhouse. And right now, my monetization is gone. This will be flagged, I'm sure, just from speaking his name. Now, before I even get into this, if you believe that Kyle defended himself legally, whether he was 17 or not, or, that, first of all, that is another thing. They're going to try him as an adult, yet they're going to charge him with a minor with a weapon. That's some hypocrisy, right? And the whole reason we have, in the Second Amendment, it doesn't say, the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed as long as you're 18 plus. So whatever law that is that says that you have to be 18 or older to have a firearm, that's unconstitutional because that's an infringement. And it's also been been in text many times that any unconstitutional law is null and void, right? So I'm sure his lawyer is all over it. He's got a great lawyer. However, if you want to support his lawyer and his case, there is a link in the description below that will take you directly to where you can donate to Kyle Rittenhouse's defense fund. Okay, but accused Kenosha gunman Kyle Rittenhouse will not face charges in Illinois. The 17-year-old killing of two protesters during race riots days after Jacob Blake was shot by police in Kenosha will not face charges in his home state of Illinois, prosecutors said. An investigation revealed that the gun used in the Kenosha shooting was purchased, stored, and used in Wisconsin, the Lake County State Attorney's Office said, which we reported on, days after. There is no evidence the gun was ever physically possessed by Kyle Rittenhouse in Illinois, it said. The Rittenhouse of Anatoc remains held in juvenile detention center in Lake County without bond due to pending criminal charges in Kenosha. Rittenhouse is due back in Lake County court on October 30th for an extradition hearing. His arrest has become a rallying point for many on the right with a legal... Screw the many on the right. How about people who believe that you have a right to self-defense? How about the belief that Jesus said that if you don't have a sword, you should go sell your coat and get one purposely for that self-defense? Should you turn your cheek and let him slap another? Yeah. How does that one work? It took me a long time to wrap my head around that because you have Christians on both sides of that aisle, right? You have Christians that are pro-gun, and you have Christians that are totally against guns, right? They're like, oh, thou shalt not kill, right? You have the thou shalt not kills and turn the other cheeks versus the if you don't have a sword, buy a sword, right? And here's my opinion on this. Because growing up, yeah, you're not supposed to kill, but we still had guns in my family. Shoot, my dad worked for Ruger. And had a whole bunch of Rugers. So we enjoyed our guns, but we didn't have nearly as cool guns as I have now. But I mean, we had some guns, right? But I didn't know about the text for a very long time about if you didn't have a sword, go grab one. So in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, if somebody does you wrong and then comes around and apologizes for it, you're supposed to forgive them. It's turn the other cheek. If somebody does you wrong, in a business dealing or whatever, you're not supposed to hold a grudge against that person. Now, it doesn't mean that you're obviously not going to do business with somebody who didn't come up and apologize. But if they come up and apologize and say, you know what, I did you wrong, I'm going to try to make it right. You're supposed to be like, you know what, forgive and forgiven. And I will do business with you again. However, if somebody is trying to actively take your life, if you don't have a sword, you should sell your coat and buy one. And I think that's where a lot of, our Second Amendment comes from in the Bible. Yeah. I could be wrong on that. Let's see. BLM for Trump. Really? All right. We are in the calm before the storm. Stock, guys, on food supplies, water, medical supplies. There you go. It's never a bad time to stock up. Do as much as you can now, for sure. But learn how to provide for yourself too, because stocking up food, stocking up metal, stocking up ammo, stocking up that's temporary. You need to learn how to be self-sufficient. So learn how to garden, learn how to farm. That's what I was trying to do this year with the help of Irish USMC vet. I really do hope that he starts up his chat soon again. Antifa, Proud Boys for Trump, Biden. Well, I have many years worth of pot stocked up and plenty of seed for next year. Well, you got that done. Right, you might not eat, but you're sure going to have the munchies. Joints are blunts. Exodus 22:2. If a thief is caught breaking in at night and is struck a fatal blow, the defender is not guilty of bloodshed. Yep, Thank you, Riddle Girl. But if it happens after sunrise, the defender is guilty of bloodshed. That is a weird one. That is a weird one.
Basically just talking about you have the right to defend yourself. If you're defenseless in your bed and somebody breaks in and you kill them, well, then they shouldn't have been breaking in the middle of the night.
But if it happens after sunrise, the defender is guilty of the bloodshed? Really? If somebody's breaking into my house to do me wrong, I mean, if they're just breaking in to steal something, maybe we can have that argument. But if they're coming in, you don't know. How do you know? You don't know. You shouldn't be breaking into other people's house. I don't know. God forgive me if I ever do that. And, I did it during the daytime. Did they arrest the guy with the blown up bicep yet? Not that I am aware of. Any, let's see, bring cloaks back 2021. Make cloaks best, great again. All right. But others, okay, his arrest has become a rallying point on many on the right, with legal defense fund that has attracted millions of dollars in donations. Well done, patriots. But others see Rittenhouse as a domestic terrorist whose presence with a rifle incited the protesters because they were incited by the violence of the gun. Shoot me, N-word. Shoot me, N-word. And then he got shot. Well, then he chased somebody who looked like the guy he was saying that to, and then immediately got shot. Yet apparently it's their fault for just having the weapon because that incited the violence? Is this how they're going to argue that? Defense attorneys have portrayed Rittenhouse as a courageous patriot who was exercising his right to bear arms and acting in self-defense while being chased by violent attackers. Well, that's what's obviously happened. Linwood, Michelle Malkin, the website for Fight Back Foundation, is now live at fightback.law. Link in the description. Please direct everyone there to contribute to Rittenhouse's defense. This is the only fund authorized by the family. And that's the reason why that's the only link that I have down there to help him out. Dems try to intimidate Republicans to keep them from using California's liberal ballot harvesting laws. So I learned a lot about ballot harvesting from the whole Veritas video. Didn't even know that was a thing, and I'm pretty upset about it. However, it's also a thing in California, and the Democrats aren't too happy that Republicans are now doing it as well because, hey, your cheating interferes with our cheating. California's chief election official on Monday ordered Republicans to remove unofficial ballot drop-off boxes from churches, gun shops, and other locations, and Attorney General Xavier Becerra, presuming illegal activity without evidence, warned those behind voting tampering could face prosecution. Republican refused, saying that they are taking advantage of California's liberal ballot collection law that allows anyone to collect ballots from voters and deliver them to county election offices. As of right now, we're going to continue our ballot harvesting program, California Republican Party spokesman Hector Barras said. Due to the Rona and concerns of health safety at polling places, California, for the first time, mailed ballots for the November 3rd election to all active registered voters, if you asked for it or not. More than 21 million people. The ballots came with prepaid envelopes for voters to mail back, free of charge. State law also allows county elected officers to set up drop boxes throughout the county where people can drop off their ballots in person. The secure boxes can sometimes weigh more than 600 pounds. Wow. And are monitored frequently by local election officials. Republicans had set up their drop boxes at churches, gas stations, and gun shops in at least 3 California counties. Some are identified as secure ballot drop-off location, while others said approved and bought by the GOP. The party declined to say precisely how many boxes had been distributed and where they all had been placed. Secretary of State Alex Padilla, a Democrat, said state law only allows county election officials to set up official ballot drop boxes with rules for how often ballots are retrieved. He said that these unofficial drop boxes lack those protections, making them vulnerable to tampering. Oh, they're worried about voting tampering. That's very nice. Polita has a chief legal counsel sent Republicans a letter on Monday ordering them to remove those boxes by Thursday. He ordered them to provide the state with the names, addresses, and birthdays of all voters who had already dropped off ballots. Burka, also a Democrat, went further, ramped up the intimidation, and threatened to prosecute anyone who knowingly engages in tampering or misuse of a vote. Wow. They ain't playing around. They ain't playing around. And they're not playing around with Trump either. Believe it. We hope that the message goes out loud and clear to anyone who is trying to improperly solicit, obtain, and manage a citizen's vote that they are subject to prosecution, Barca said. I am trying to be careful with how I say this, but the reports we are hearing are disturbing. Polita declined to speculate on why Republicans would be collecting votes via unofficial drop boxes. Our interest is in protecting the integrity of this election, he said. I mean, California's going to go that way anyway. I mean, I guess local elections, maybe you're worried more about. Barra said the party's drop boxes just provide voters with another opportunity to cast their ballots. In the news released by California Republican parties, said state law does not specifically ban them from collecting ballots in a box. They said that the law only prevents tampering or foregoing ballots, and that people collecting the ballots cannot be paid for doing it. It appears Republicans are well within their right to collect ballots in this manner. It's just that Democrats don't like it. Republican Senator Melendez posted to her official Twitter account. Democrats have used ballot harvesting in California to turn congressional seats in their favor in recent years after some initially appeared to be going Republican. Interesting. In California, yeah, I'm done reading that, but very interesting. Okay. Corn, beans, tomatoes, cucumbers, watermelons, squash, greens, those good staples you can survive off in summer, fall months in case food shortages come back next year. Joints and bowls. Joints? Oh, okay. I get you. Never mind. Could the president pardon Kyle? Yes, he could, but I think it would be better for Kyle if he didn't get pardoned by the president. Because Kyle is, even if he did get pardoned, his attorney is going to go after defamation cases like you won't believe. Kyle is either going to go to prison for the rest of his life, or he's going to be one of the richest people in his city that ever come out of Illinois. Guaranteed, one of those two is going to happen. Can we all please start calling Antifa fascists? They will hate it. Well, Antifa was a member. If you look back into Antifa, that's a party that originally didn't like the Nazis before the Nazis were in power, but once the Nazis got in power, Antifa was right there with them. Right? They call Nazis fascists. Nazis aren't fascists. They're socialist. The Nazi Party, if you ever look up what Nazi means, National Socialist Party. So there you go on that. When double standards is law. Okay, yeah. So those are all the stories I have for you. Any last comments on any of the stories, or you got any other stories of your own? This was really kind of a gospel chat almost. Shoot, we might have to start doing those on Saturday. Riddle Girl has said that maybe we should have our own since we're really not going to church anymore. We did go to church on Sunday at, what was the church's religion?
They're Presbyterian.
Presbyterian church. We did go to a Presbyterian church. Well, it's right next door to us. In fact, the house that we stay in, or we rent, is owned by the church. So we pay rent to the church. And the landlady, the lady that we deal with, is a really nice lady. Really nice. And I don't agree with them on their political beliefs. Or, I don't believe them on their political beliefs either. Or on their religious beliefs. But, I like the people. And that's the main thing. And they believe in Jesus and they're trying to do the right thing. And you can tell when people are trying to do the right thing. And it's not up to me to go there. You're doing it wrong. You're going to church on the wrong day, Because that's what I believe doesn't mean that's what they should believe. And they need to come to that. We could maybe have a biblical discussion, but there's a difference between having a biblical discussion and you're doing that wrong, right? That's the whole speck in someone's eye when you have a plank in your own kind of thing.
That's what the sermon was about.
Yeah, in fact, that's exactly what the sermon was about. And it was funny. Somebody had stood up because they were doing prayer requests at the beginning of it or whatever. And this is why I said I don't believe with their political beliefs, because apparently the Presbyterian Church has taken the side of BLM.
Like
And
officially endorsing.
and officially endorsed Black Lives Matter. And one of the people in there was upset about that and said that they need to pray for the people in charge of the Presbyterian Church and hope that they, I forget how they worded that, have
come to understanding.
No, it wasn't that, but basically come to understanding. There was a word for it other than that. But so yeah, interesting, right? BLM, that's a Marxist organization. Do Black Lives Matter? Heck yeah, they do. Everybody's life matters. But boy, you say that, you're racist, right? Have a church for patriots. Well, we have the Church of the Second Amendment that Mule Team 66 tried to start up a long time ago, and I did a video on it, I think, too. I don't know. Christianity and Marxism doesn't mix. Well, here's a news flash. I do believe that God loves the United States, or when it founded. You know, I do believe that this land has been blessed for many years. However, I do believe that he probably does like, you know, the republic, kind of like the setup that we have now. I think that's probably the best form of government we can have here on earth. However, Jesus is a socialist. Just so you know. Everybody's equal. When we go to heaven, he's in charge. Everybody gets whatever they need. There's a debate we could have. Is Jesus a socialist? I think he is. It's just my opinion. But I don't believe he believes in socialism here on earth. Because that's the perfect version of socialism with no corruption. Right? You can't get that here. There's no way. It's funny, if you look up the definition of fascism via Google versus Merriam-Webster's site. Oh yeah? There's a difference?
So on Google, they say fascism is a form of far-right, authoritarian, ultranationalism characterized by dictatorial power, forcible suppression of opposition, and strong regimentation of society and the economy, which came to prominence in the early 20th century Europe. Now, Merriam-Webster's actual definition of fascism: a political philosophy, movement, or regime, such as that of the fascisti, that exalts nation and race above the individual, that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader.
Wow. Yeah, it's two different definitions. Mm-hmm. Well, Webster's pretty liberal, so I'm sure they'll probably change that pretty soon.
It was Merriam-Webster, not Webster. Yeah.
Oh, there's a difference?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know there was a difference.
Merriam-Webster is like the one that I would go to if I was going to write a paper or something. Right.
What's up, Jupiter 5? Jupiter 5 on D Live says BLM equals communist lives matter. Well, they're Marxist, but maybe. That's why they're socialists that are fighting for Marxists, and Antifa is socialists fighting for communists. So I mean, I don't know. It's it's whatever. People are being used. People who think they're doing right. Some people are just doing it to be evil, right? There's a lot of people that think they're doing what's right. They're misguided, unfortunately. Just thought of Mule when y'all said that. Probably still has the Facebook page up. Yeah, probably does. Yes, but percentages of Christians have declined since the founding. Yeah, it has. I mean, what? Well, yeah, like right at about 50% of people who actually say they're Christian, which, you know, you can have that probably real easily. At least. Okay. With what we have for food put up, I shot some birds, rabbits, a few deer. We could go for a year. Yeah, I haven't done much hunting. I live in the city right now. I'm trying to fix that first. You know that, though. No, in the human sense? Oh, wait a minute. Now I got to go back and see what Mike D is talking about. Yes, but percentage of Christians have declined since the founding. No, in the human sense. Christianity and Marxism doesn't mix. Okay, I might be out of context with that comment. Sorry, Mike. Our great Chinese messiah, gunpowder. Oh, it's so blasphemous. Mike D, I meant not in the human sense of socialism. Yes. Okay, I think I see where you're coming from now. Yes. No, not in the human sense. Yeah. Socialism for Jesus is way different than socialism here on Earth, obviously. M says, show idea, Patriot Church. Read some passages and discuss. Broken Patriot needs to shut the hell up. Yeah. We're working on it. And I'm trying to convince her, man. These mics aren't that expensive, and they're coming down every day. Shoot, I wouldn't mind getting another webcam. We can just set it up split screen style. Shoot, I think your laptop has a camera on it. You just have to go in the other room, though, unfortunately. Although, I don't know. I'd have to figure out how to not get reverb, you know? How do you get two people on a mic, two different mics, without having reverb going... Well, I guess headphones, right? Headphones. Like, if you had a mic and headphones, I don't think... Yeah, it might double up.
And push to talk.
I don't like push to talk. Only ammo I'm short on is 9mm, but I have plenty of shotgun and rifle. I load 9mm, so I have plenty of 9mm, and I don't shoot it that often. I only have, well, Riddle Girl has a 9mm. We haven't gone shotting this whole summer, or shotting. We haven't gone shotting this whole summer because of the fire restrictions, and I don't want to go to a gun range. Well, that's a lie. I did go shooting. I took my 300 Blackout because I had loaded up some self-defense rounds for it, and I needed to test it out on the new chronograph that I got, and I didn't want to wait till winter. Well, now that we're getting towards winter, I'm going to be able to shoot in the desert again, so we'll probably start shooting up a lot more stuff. She has a 9mm that she carries. I used to. That's why I got into loading 9. I no longer have a 9mm for self-defense. I do have a really sweet Star Model B from 1950s, like the early 50s, that was given to the German officers after World War II. And that gun is very special to me because it took me a very long time to find it, and it's from the movie Pulp Fiction. And if anybody knows a place that does nickel coating on firearms still because of all the regulations, please let me know. I will pay whatever price I need to pay for a really good nickel plating job on a gun. But yeah, that's the only 9 I have. She should use headphones. She has headphones in. She's listening to the chat, though, the live version, the version you're listening to. That way she can tell me if my audio is not working or something like that. I really like the idea of a Patriot Church. Yeah. I do too. I was telling PS not too long ago about that maybe it's a gift. See, that's the thing. I told Riddle Girl I don't know what my gift is. Everybody's supposed to have a gift from God, right? And I don't know what mine is. It's not this. I don't know what it is. She thinks I need to start up a church, and I'm like, oh, can you imagine that?
Might be a great thing.
That's shoddy. What shoddy? My shoddy? The Comrade 12. I do like my Comrade 12. However, I might get rid of it. I don't know, man. I've only shot it the one time, the Comrade 12, and I did have issues with it, but it was just because I had the gas setting in the wrong spot, and I get a lot of comments on that. Oh, that's a great single shot shotgun you got there. Ha ha ha, you're so funny. Right? But what it was it looked like high brass, but apparently it was not high brass. And so I had it set on high brass, and it was when I turned it over to low brass it functioned fine. However, I am worried about that. I kind of want to have a pump. I do not own a pump, and I've always wanted a Marine Magnum, those nickel-plated shotguns that look oh so pretty and are corrosion resistant, even though I live in the driest state in the States. Patriot Church sounds good. That he already doesn't like his comrade. Yeah, I will be the pastor. There you go, D. Nickel plate could be a good do-it-yourself project with little practice. I've looked at the kits that are out there. I don't know, man. I would hate to screw it up. Really would. But yeah, it's about $1,000 if I want to get the kit, which is about what I've been told that you get it for if you have somebody do it for you that will actually do it. I just can't find anybody that'll do it. Evangelism is a gift. I don't know if I'm an evangelist. I like speaking the truth. Right? And I can admit when I'm wrong. That's my gifts, I guess. Is that a gift? Liking, like loving, absolutely in love with the truth. Like, what I could do to the truth. right? I absolutely adore the truth, and I hate liars, and I'll admit when I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot. Doesn't mean I'm trying to lie, right? If I'm wrong, doesn't mean that.
Gerald trying to get us to go to Maine again. He's like, I know of a church for sale.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember seeing that posting, too, on that site. Yeah. All right. Patriot Church in Maine. There you go. All right, guys. Well, that's all I'm going to have for you for this evening. This chat's gone on for an hour and 41 minutes. Great conversation. I hope it seemed like as short of a chat to you as it did for me, because if I hadn't looked at the clock just now, I wouldn't have guessed it was an hour and 41 minutes. I would have guessed it was over an hour, but probably not an hour and 41 minutes. So thank you very much, ASMR Hype. Yeah. Thank you very much for all hanging out with me tonight. It was a lovely chat. I do appreciate it. Thank you for everybody on D Live for checking me out. Before you go, if you are new around here, check out the descriptions. Unfortunately, D Live doesn't have descriptions, so you'd have to check me out on YouTube. It's the same name, Poison Stinger on YouTube. But there is descriptions below if it's your first time. Let me tell you a little bit about them. First and foremost, we have Adam Lawson's Blessed. That's the song that I play before I come on live. If you like that song, that's where you can find it. Next is all the different causes I believe in and I support. If you're interested in supporting a cause, these are the ones that maybe I would point you to. Justice for Cannon. He's the 5-year-old boy who got shot in the head by his neighbor in front of his siblings for playing in his front yard. You don't see that story in the news because it's a couple months old now, and the boy was white and the neighbor was black. Next is the Kyle Rittenhouse Defense Fund. Millions of dollars have been donated already, but if you want to jump in on that bandwagon, there's the link that you can donate to Kyle Rittenhouse's Defense Fund. Ryan Whitaker's family set up a GoFundMe page and has a Facebook page for Ryan Whitaker. Ryan Whitaker was a man in Phoenix who was shot in the back by police while trying to get down on his knees and raise his hands above his head, but you won't hear about that on the news because he was the wrong color as well. Next is help find our missing in action, which is projectrecovered.org. It's an organization that goes out and looks for lost service members and returns their remains to their families. And lastly, my good friend Irish USMC vet in chat, maybe, possibly, at least he was earlier, is trying to set up a location in Tennessee where veterans can come and live room and board free while learning a new skill like farming, gunsmithing, or blacksmithing. Next is all the different ways you can support my content. If you're on D Live, lemons work. If you're on YouTube, the super chats or stickers work. But you can also do it through Bitcoin, some other crypto, and PayPal. Last is all the different places you can follow me. I do have a BitChute channel. I have not uploaded to it in a while because my videos keep processing forever and never go live. So it's just a lot of extra work with no benefit. I am also on D Live for all my D Live viewers. You know that already. But for my YouTubers, you might not know. So here's the deal. If I ever get taken off of YouTube, you can find me on D Live and BitChute. I'm already on BitChute, and I stream there every time I stream here. However, if I am no longer on YouTube, I will be all over BitChute. And did I say that I streamed to BitChute? I streamed to D Live. Parler. It's kind of like Twitter. It's kind of like Facebook. I'm on that, and I post when I come on live. YouTube, if you're not watching me on YouTube, I am obviously on YouTube. Facebook is Riddle Girl's Facebook, because I just don't like the books of face, and she posts about this channel and other political stuff you might find that you like. And lastly is my Twitter. I am finally out of Twitter jail, so I have been tweeting when I go live, and I appreciate all the follows over there. And lastly, let me just catch up on the chat one last time. D Live Jupiter 5. Some people never know their gift. It's enough that you have one. It's enough that you have one. Some people, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I have no idea what my gift is.
But they think that your gift is probably evangelism too.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. That. Don't trust your soul to me. Let's see. Those gold plating kits at home or for home are sweet. Yeah, I've seen some of them. It's interesting, but it's a lot to learn. A lot. And there's a lot of chemicals involved, right? I smelt lead to make my own bullets. And I burn myself with lead splatter every single time. I can only imagine myself poisoning myself in a cloud of fumes trying to nickel plate a firearm. Good night, all. Good night. Cheers, Patriots. Yep. Working on a Celtic axe. Dude, you gotta show me pics on that. You making a video on that? You should. Do you make money on this? Not really. I mean, most of my videos start off with the ads because they're live streams, right? I get, without any donations, I usually get maybe, $100 every 2 to 3 months. And that's from old videos. That's not from this stuff. That's from old videos that still do pretty well on here. But most of my videos are shadow banned. Well, I wouldn't say shadow banned, but demonetized, right? Because it's guns. It's how to put together an AR-15. Oh, that's not good. How to reload. That's not good, right? That's a lot of my content. Now, some of my content that still makes me money is the stuff with the neodymium magnets that I made back in 07 or 06, right? Long time ago. It's got like 2 or 3 million views. I don't even know anymore. Oh, Zeus, thank you very much. And there went my check. Appreciate that. Real girl was slow on the button. I do appreciate the dollar, Zeus. Let's see. What was I saying? But God knows your gift. That's enough. Okay. I see. But God knows my gift. Okay. Well, I sure hope that he shares that. I would like to know it. You know what I mean? I would like to know what I'm supposed to be doing. Because 45 years in, and I'm like, I don't really know. All right. And that was the last comment. All right. Thank you very much for joining. I will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And that was about an hour and 47 minutes ago. Then on Thursday, we will be going back to 10 p.m. just for the one night. And that's because Riddle Girl is going into the hospital. So prayers and thoughts, please. But until tomorrow night, make sure to keep your family close. Watch out for that government and try to live as free as you possibly can in the tyrannical world that we find ourselves living in today. Until then, peace.